This is gonna be a weird video. So back in 2020, I started my YouTube channel. At first on my channel, I didn't really know what I wanted the channel to be. And I didn't really know what to do about it. I didn't really know what I wanted to post. My first video was about Kenneth Copeland. But there was one video that I recorded and mostly edited. I had some issues exporting it, which is why I think I never posted it. Well, there are multiple reasons I didn't post it. But one of them was it exported weird. It was this video. I talk about books. I talk about books that I had gotten. I was in college at the time. Well, actually, at that point, I was like basically dropped out of college. It was April 2020. And I didn't take any college classes at that point, so it didn't really matter. So basically, I made this video, and then I decided it doesn't really fit with what I want to do with the channel. So, and that combined with the fact that I couldn't even get the video to work. Like, I had technical issues with it. And I was still using Windows Movie Maker at this point. That's how early on it was. So I think it was the second video I had recorded, or at least the second I was going to post, because I was still using Windows Movie Maker. I hadn't used Adobe Premiere yet. But yeah, so enough stalling. If you want to watch this video, it's really bad. It's very cringeworthy. I look completely different in this video too. I look like a thin little guy. Just looking back, I was in such a different place. It was before I was dating my now wife, and just looking back, it was such a different time. And I just thought, I'll post it. Why not? What could go wrong? So here it is. Plaidley rants about books for like 8 minutes. That's the video. Hope you enjoy.
Huh. So that's what the government isn't telling me. Oh, hi, didn't see you there. Sorry, you know how it is. Just catching up with some reading. Had a lot of time on my hands now that we're all in quarantine. Fun times. Introduction. Hello, my name is Plaidley. Yes, that is a real name. Please don't look it up. And it is currently the year 2020, and the month is April, and the day of recording is the 16th. And the whole world's kind of under quarantine right now. Well, at least the United States is. And everyone has a lot of time on their hands at the moment because of the quarantine. Basically, a lot of businesses are shut down. A lot of people have lost their jobs. Really unfortunate. But the good news is all of those things you kept putting off and putting off and putting off, you can finally get to. I've heard a lot of people doing housework, cleaning their houses, cleaning up their trash. Since a lot of stuff is shut down at the moment, it's a great time to catch up on those books you wanted to read, those movies you wanted to watch, those games you wanted to play, those children you were supposed to be raising but you forgot about, that you left in the basement. You left them with a box of mac and cheese and a spatula. You might want to go check on them. Make sure they're okay. Despite the country shutting down for the most part, there's still a lot of people that have their hands tied up with work. For example, grocery store workers, and restaurant workers, and delivery drivers, which I am one of. And especially to grocery workers, I just want to salute you real quick and say, keep up the good work. I know it's terrible. I've been to grocery stores right now. Things are crazy. But just thank you so much for all the work you do. Back to the whole quarantine situation, it's kind of given me an opportunity to look at some of my books and maybe reread a few, start reading a few that I started reading, and then find some books that I forgot that I purchased that are actually terrible, and that's the ones I want to talk about today. So for starters, I just, for no reason at all, wanted to go through some of my favorite books, personally, of all time. Of course, you've got Super Mario, How Nintendo Conquered America. I Am a Gamer, epic. And I really enjoy this book. It's very thorough. It's a very thorough history of Nintendo. It only goes up to a certain time frame, I think, the Wii era. But it's still a really good read. Definitely recommended it. If dystopian sci-fi books are your thing, this is definitely a great read. Transient, there's a trilogy. Definitely check it out. If you're in the mood for a romance book, one of my personal favorites is Compelled to Love a Stranger. Great read. This book right here, The Promise, I haven't completely finished it, but it is a fantastic read. Of course, what collection would be complete without the Man of Steel paperback novelization? I got a Garfield book. Got that one. It's good. It's a good book. And this Blu-ray copy of Let There Be Light by Kevin Sorbo. So now that I've discussed some actually decent books,
Blu-ray copy of Let There Be Light by Kevin Sorbo.
Let's talk about these. Amazon.com is kind of a interesting place to shop for books. On one hand, you could be getting a fantastic book. On the other hand, you could be getting Peter the Great by Michael W. Simmons. There's a lot of cheaply produced books on Amazon. It's very easy to find books that have been kind of tossed together. Someone maybe just copied and pasted some information, tossed in a book on Amazon, and charged a ton of money for it. That's where Peter the Great comes in, this book right here. Peter the Great. A while ago for a college paper, I did a research paper on Peter the Great, and as part of that, my mom helped me find some books on Peter the Great, that would help me with my research, order them from Amazon. I got 2 of them, and I still have them for some reason. I haven't gotten rid of them. Probably should, because why do I own 2 books about Peter the Great? I don't know, maybe it'll be worth something in my life. Anyway, so one of the books was actually this one, which if you're actually interested in reading about Peter the Great, I would actually recommend this one, even though I didn't read this whole thing. I just kind of, found some quotes and got my citation, and yeah, 800 some pages, very thorough history of Peter the Great. And so if you're actually interested in reading about Peter the Great, get a book like this. Nice thick book, plenty of words. I never thought I'd be talking this much about Peter the Great on YouTube, but here we are. She also purchased this book for me. So basically, the formatting's very weird. As you see here from this page, I don't know if you can see it. You've got the chapter title, and then, that much, oh, it's too bright. That much information on one page. Very, very big words. In fact, I guarantee part of the reason that it made it to around 200 words is because the font was so big. I guess if you do have trouble with your eyesight, that could benefit you in some way. There's no citations. It's just kind of general, summarized information about Peter the Great's life, which is fine. It's not an issue or anything. I'm not saying, this book shouldn't exist because it's not as thorough as this book. Oh, also they have the same picture of Peter the Great, like the exact same image. So that's epic. Now, between these 2 books, I want you to take a real quick guess on which one cost more. This one? This big, thick, very thorough account of Peter the Great's life. I don't like that he's looking at me. Or this very cheaply thrown together book about Peter the Great, a very general sense. This one costs more money. I'm not joking. If you were to purchase a copy of Peter the Great by Michael W. Simmons, you'd be out $17. Yes, that's right. This cheaply thrown together tiny book, $17. But of course, for this thorough account of Peter the Great's life, you're only out $16. Yes, this tiny book is worth $1 more than this thorough book. So I think it's safe to say that it's really not worth it to buy this little tiny book, unless you're trying to get an extra citation on a paper, in which case you gotta get what you get. Now, since I passed that class about 2 years ago and haven't thought about Peter the Great since, was it really worth whining about that book on the internet? Spurgeon. For $6.89, you too can own a paperback edition of information that is completely free to view online. So this book is okay. It's called Spurgeon's Verse Exposition of Romans. And, it's fine. It's nothing as offensive as that. It's not as offensive. It was obviously cheaper, and you get what you pay for. It's basically just different Bible verses and a little bit of commentary from Spurgeon, so it's decent for what you get. It's not as bad as this cheap thing, Now, as previously mentioned, all of the information in this book is available free on the internet. In fact, if you go to this website right here, studylight.org, you can actually find all of it. All of the information in its entirety. And it's free. And I'm pretty sure to make this book, they literally just copied and pasted all of this information. Now, if I had known at the time that I could have gotten all of this information for free on the internet, would I have really bought this? No, I would not have bought this. It was only $6.89, which wasn't, again, not as bad as $17, but not the best purchase I've ever made in my life. The last book, Matthew Henry. This is also a commentary, although this one is from Matthew Henry. Matthew Henry was a guy at some point. I really can't cut this book as much slack as I did that book because it is $11 and the formatting is confusing. It is the same situation as before with the Spurgeon book, all of this information being free online. All of this information is also free online. In fact, I was able to locate a website that contained all of his commentary from the entire Bible. So the fact that you could pay $11 to have a poorly formatted commentary that is only a small portion of Matthew Henry's work, or you could have the entire thing free online in its entirety. I think the choice is kind of obvious. Now, this book was the only one I wasn't able to find on Amazon's website anymore. All of these other ones you can still purchase, but this one you can't. It's nowhere to be seen. Perhaps the person or company behind this book felt really bad for charging people $11 for, again, information you can find online for absolutely free, but we'll never know.
A summary, I guess. I don't know.
Be careful what you buy on Amazon. You could be getting a really cheaply produced book with information that is completely free on the internet. Or you could get a very nice book that is definitely worth the price. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Plaidley. Yes, that's my real name. And if you'll excuse me, I gotta get back to reading Reasons to Vote for Democrats by Michael J. Knowles. A fantastic book I would highly recommend. Bye-bye. Huh. So that's why I should vote for Democrats.
Like this video or I'll eat your kidney.
The book's empty. It's empty. It's literally empty. It's empty.